Elsa, the past is not what it seems. You must find the truth. Go north, across the enchanted lands, and into the unknown. But be careful. We have always feared Elsa's powers were too much for this world.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Film Optics. And today we have a very special Thanksgiving-esque review here. My name is Christian, and I'm actually joined not by Devin, because he is back home for the holidays, but I'm joined by two of my new co-hosts co-podcasts from Cinemania World. We have Larry and Alex. How are you guys doing today?
What's up? How's it going?
Hey. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving,
We're gonna be talking about some Frozen 2s. It's, you know, it's kind of like autumn and it is the season, kind of, sort of. So before we begin today's review of Frozen 2, I just wanted to let everyone know that you can listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, Anchor. Anyways, let's just dive right in. I'll read the synopsis here really quick, and then we'll go into more of a non-spoiler section, and then we'll finally get into the good stuff, because I know we've been wanting to talk about this on the Cinemania group page for a while, and you know, Dwayne was not able to join us today, but that's okay.
He was not, no.
A day.
He went to go see 21 Bridges. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But,
I'm seeing it tomorrow, so
I'll definitely see it after I've seen everything else. But
I'm trying to see everything.
oh man! All right, so the synopsis reads as Anna, Elsa, Kristoff, and Olaf and Sven leave Arendelle to travel to an ancient autumn-bound forest of enchanted land. They set out to find the origin of Elsa's powers in order to save their kingdom. Directed by Chris Buck and Jennifer Lee. Writers Jennifer Lee, and story also by Jennifer Lee. Stars Kristen Bell. I can never pronounce the girl's name who plays Elsa.
Del Dazim.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Her.
Menzel.
Yes, Miss Menzel. And Josh Gad, just name a few. So I guess we'll just go around the table here really quick. Just ask you guys individually. I'll go last. So what are your guys' initial thoughts about the announcement of the trailer? Like, you know, we're on Film Trade or whatever, and we say, oh, Frozen 2 is coming up. What was like your initial thoughts? Like, did you think it was too soon? Did you think, why is this being made? You know, the first one ended on such a good note. I guess we'll just start with Larry.
I mean, I think it was pretty clear why it was being made, so I wasn't really shocked in any sense, just kind of waiting, honestly. You don't become it's hard, especially as a Disney film, to become a cultural phenom like Frozen did and not get some sort of sequel. We've gotten all of these little shorts over the years. Animation does take quite a while to actually complete. Obviously, you know, it takes years to put the actual product together and animate everything. So, you know, I think they got it up and running as fast as they could. That billion roll in. No, and definitely not too soon. I think obviously the box office numbers for this one show, you know, the kids are still hungry for it. Adults are still hungry for it. And I was interested to see where it went, because I'm somebody who enjoys the first Frozen, but it's certainly not one of like my favorites. It's not even one of my favorites in this current revival era of Disney films. So I was ready to see, you know, what can they bring to the table. Maybe I'll enjoy this one a little bit more. So I was excited to see where they were going with it.
All right, Alex, your thoughts?
Yeah, I was excited to see where they were going with it too. When I saw that trailer, I was just like, man, this looks way different from the first one. I was kind of skeptical because I was like, I'm not sure if people are going to be on board because I know we had like that Olaf short that was like Olaf like bakes a pie or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Coco.
yeah,
Oof, Lord.
yeah, yeah, that one. And so I wasn't sure if like people were going to be on board. I figured people were going to be like, oh no, another Frozen movie. Like I thought it was just gonna get review bombed and all that. And like there were some comments when the trailer first came out where it's like another Frozen movie, but the first one made $1 billion. I think it made over $1 billion.
Yeah, it was something insane.
It's inevitable, mostly because Let It Go was overplayed on radio stations everywhere. A good song, annoyingly good song.
It is really good, man. I was actually listening to it a few days ago. I'm like, it just it's a not much of a headbanger, but it's got a groove to it, and you're like, yeah, let's do this. I don't know.
Yeah,
it gives you hypes a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not surprised that there's a sequel, like especially since the first one made over $1 billion. I think 6 years is a good time frame. Like, I think it like, when did Wreck-It Ralph come out?
I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, 2012. I think it was 12, and then the sequel came out last year. So yeah, I think they're spacing these sequels to these animated films out pretty well.
Yeah,
I was a little bit nervous, I'm gonna say, because that sweet spot, like the 6-year-olds,
Yeah.
with, like 12-year-olds, and
Yeah.
12-year-olds get this like too cool for that crap they watched when they were kids
That's
to them. So I was a little bit nervous. I was like, oh gosh, are all these like little middle schoolers gonna be like, ugh, I don't watch
Dude,
Frozen.
that's exactly how I was for the longest time. I was like the only thing I'd watch was like Toy Story. Like, no shame, I love Toy Story. So it's just like, yeah. So it's but like if like the Incredibles, like I didn't watch the Incredibles for like 14 years. I was like, I outgrew that. I don't need to watch that. And
dude, that movie still slaps.
That movie's awesome.
Yeah.
Like I rewatched it before Incredibles 2. I was like, that movie is great.
It really is. Yeah, I did the same thing with Frozen. Because when I originally saw the announcement, like the first trailer where Elsa's gearing up to go. I'm like, oh my god, she's gonna cross the sea. Like, something is gonna happen. And I was like, holy crap, it's Elsa, the last Icebender. Let's go. I was very, very excited, and that's kind of what I took from it. But
honestly, I don't think I saw I didn't see Frozen when it was first released because it was still like at that stage. I think it was, what was it, 2013? I was like 19, so I was still like, ugh, like. It's a kids movie. Like I heard it's really good, but I don't want to be like, I don't want people to know I'm associated like watching these things. And then I finally watched it in like 2015 or 2016. And I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. And it got me back into animation. So that's
Frozen.
Yeah, that's
Hooray for Frozen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it came out when I was in college. I was dating a girl at the time. She wanted to go see it. I was like, sure, why not? And I was like, this like oddly reminds me of The Lion King in some way, shape, or form. Like well, the first one did at least, not the second one. But I don't know. It was just something about it. I was like, I dig it. So I was like, yeah, I'm a Frozen fan. But
yeah,
man, oh man. So I guess the next thing I would ask you guys really quick. So did this well, did you guys just want to get into spoilers now? I mean, I feel like we've been waiting for it for a while. We're like tiptoeing it around on like obviously the group chat. But okay, so let's just get into it really quick. What are both of your thoughts about the no villain aspect of this film? Alex, go ahead and take this one first.
Okay. I've kind of complained about it on social media. I'm kind of conflicted because I can see where the argument can be made where the movie doesn't need a villain, like it's more about the internal struggles that Elsa's dealing with, and I like that aspect, but at the same time, I feel like the movie was building to have a main villain, and then when there wasn't a villain, I was kind of like let down by that because I felt like there wasn't a conflict, and then it felt like also the stakes just weren't as high in the movie, so I kind of left like feeling like like I didn't really care all that much. But at the same time, like, I think you guys feel differently, and that's totally fine. I can see where you guys would come from if you think there shouldn't be a villain in the movie. I can definitely see that argument as well.
All right, Larry, any rebuttals there?
I do think it's actually pretty similar to Moana, which was the last film that kind of got that criticism of having no villain. Where both movies seem to really build toward. In that case, I think it was Tafiki, or I believe it's like, I can't remember the name of the goddess. But building toward her when she was like in her lava state, and she kind of was a villain because they kind of have to have a showdown with her, but then they flip it. And then this one obviously is building and building toward finding this voice, and they keep you in suspense of, is the voice evil? Is it good? Is it helping? Is it, what is this voice for Elsa? So they build up to that until they reveal that it's her mother, and no, it's good.
Surprise!
Elsa, you are what you have been looking for all this time. It's all there already.
Oh my god, it was you the entire time. I was like, I kind of figured.
Yeah. My thing is I thought they were going to do like a How to Train Your Dragon 2 thing where it was like, we don't see the villain for a while, but then like, because remember in like How to Train Your Dragon 2, like the main villain comes in like an hour into an hour and 40-minute movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that's where they were going, and then when she gets to like that ice cave, and it shows that like, who was it? Her was it their father or their grandfather that was actually
grandfather.
Yeah, grandfather.
It was the grandfather. I was like, oh my god, he's going to be alive and he's going to be the villain. But that didn't happen. So, I mean, in a sense, I guess, like, he kind of is, even though he's not present, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The one who set off all of this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I think the How to Train Your Dragon series is another series that, they have villains in all three of the films, but realistically, the villains aren't, they're just kind of there to have a villain, I'd say, because those are also personal stories. It's always much more focused on relationships between the characters.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I didn't mind it here. I think the first film, too, mostly focused on kind of Elsa growing as a person as well as Anna growing as a person. But that one, the reason I think this, to me, is a superior sequel is because you can see the seams in that one. You can see, like, oh, clearly Elsa was going to be our villain up until here when they were like, oh, crap, we've got a great song and let it go. We can't have this big villain song. This is clearly an empowering song. Okay, we have to redeem her, and we have to have some villain, so it's going to be Hans, him. Grab him, he's the villain, so I don't know, I didn't think too much of that. Whereas this one, I feel like maybe they were building toward a villain, but if that was the case and they wrote out a villain for whatever reason, it was hidden better. It was more organic, and I think it was definitely Elsa's story, like pure flat out this time. And I really like where they took her character. I liked that we got more time with all the characters. So I didn't need a typical Disney villain where we're kind of cutting back to them every now and then, just having what they're up to. I'm like, no, so we can stay here.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Sorry, go ahead, Alex.
I can even though I feel differently, like I can definitely see like how people would think that. Like, so I'm like, again, like, I'm kind of on the fence, I guess. I'm kind of contradicting myself too many times here, but I'm on the fence. Like, Larry made some good points there. Just I'm still trying to decide where I lie, I guess.
It's kind of like how Sauron is in Lord of the Rings. Like, we know he's like an evil presence, like it's there, but you don't physically see him. So it's like he's there, but he isn't, but he is, and it like kind of goes back and forth. That's how I viewed it personally. But yeah, that's kind of like how my little take for it. But I can see why people, oh, there's no villain. It's kind of like the forces of nature are like the issue and the problem in itself. I did have one small gripe with the movie. I'm not sure if anyone else has brought this up, even in the group chat. Towards the very end, where Elsa just goes Avatar state and just completely saves Arendelle from the flood, I thought that Arendelle was going to be destroyed, and then they would do the whole, oh, you know how Asgard got destroyed, but it's like, oh, Asgard isn't a place, it's the people. I thought they were going to throw that in there for Arendelle, and they were relocate somewhere else, and then that can kind of like, you know, build up to a, you know, to make this a trilogy if they wanted to, but that didn't happen. And I was like, oh, like I totally see where this movie's going. I absolutely love it, but like I still like how, you know, where it went and what they did towards the end, where, you know, you have Elsa who's back in the wilds, or not back in the wilds, but being the protector of the people, you know, out in the wilds, and then you have Anna, who's she's queen now. So sorry, go ahead.
Well, what were you gonna ask first?
Oh, I was just gonna ask, did you guys have any like scenes you didn't care for, or any favorite parts in the movies that really stuck out to you that you really enjoyed?
For me, there was I really liked the end when like those rock giants came together and they were trying to escape from the rock giants. I thought that was really fun. In terms of stuff that didn't really work for me, Kristoff and Sven kind of just went away for like a half hour to 40 minutes, and I'm like, no rhyme or reason where they went.
He wants to propose. Like, thank you very much.
Dancing with his reindeer circle.
Yeah.
He's trying to make it perfect. It's right.
I also thought Olaf was really annoying in this.
Oh,
yeah.
Larry.
I find it interesting. I
liked Olaf in this one.
Olaf a lot more. The first movie he grated on me a lot more than he did.
Really?
This time I actually thought he was funny, except for his song. He still has like the weakest songs.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
I like the first song in the first movie more than the one from this one.
I liked it more too, and I didn't really like In Summer either. So.
Yeah, I think the problem with Olaf in this movie for me was that I feel like he's always been geared more towards kids, but it seemed like the jokes were geared even further towards kids in this one. Because I didn't laugh at anything he said, really.
Oh, really? I did. It was like he was going through like his own version of like puberty. I thought it was hysterical.
Yeah, but none of the adults really laughed. It was just kind of like all the kids laughing. So.
Oh, really? It was the opposite in my theater.
Really?
Yeah, all the adults were laughing at like everything Olaf said. They ate it up so much.
Just didn't fit for me. Like that's what was a bit weird, was like you had Olaf going through this like little midlife crisis, wanting to grow older and feeling like he's naive and young and not able to do things, but it just was there amongst this like grander story. He would just pop in with his like random
his random thoughts of like life and meaning.
Olaf is my favorite. So when he like walks in and throws like this random little jab at somebody, that's like my favorite moments of his. And I thought he did that a few more times this go round, and I was like, yes, Olaf. Especially
when he's like explaining the entire plot of Frozen 1, like to the
that scene was funny.
That was so hysterical. Yeah. Oh my! It was like Castle for one.
And then another problem I have with Olaf in this movie is when he died, it was so obvious he was coming back to life.
Yeah, it was still sad. I teared up a bit. I'm not gonna lie. I was sad.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, oh, like it's this Olaf we're talking about here.
Like he died, and then I was like, they're gonna throw in some stupid line like, "Do you want to build a snowman?" And then Elsa's like, "Hey, Anna, do you want to build a snowman?" I'm like,
remember, water has memories. I'm like, I liked how they tied that in, but yeah, definitely saw him coming back to life.
That was a good tie-in. Also,
they're not gonna.
I will say, especially in that cave scene, they went pretty dark. Like Anna's song gets pretty dark. I was like, oh
yeah,
Disney laid it on. Of course, as adults, So I don't know. For a kid though, that might be pretty dark. That whole scene with Anna just literally being by herself and everybody she loves being dead.
Pretty much, like dead or abandoned.
Like, oh, okay. But yeah. Definitely, he was coming back. you figured they were gonna find a way to bring Elsa. You know, she's gonna thaw or something.
Oh yeah, they're not going to kill off their number one
I mean,
merchandising.
that would be crazy. I mean, kids would just be distraught, like dead in the theater if all that.
I swear they would. Larry's right. Like, I went to go see this at 10:45 in the morning. I thought it was safe. There were too many children in that showing.
Dude, that's why during the school year I don't go to like a matinee or anything, because it's all field trips.
Yeah.
Or if there's an animated movie in the summer. Luckily, it didn't happen with Toy Story 4. I think it happened with what did it happen?
Spider-Man?
No. I think it was How to Train Your Dragon.
Okay.
All summer camp kids. I was like, go away! You're ruining it. And it's the theater downtown, so it's like they have like no control over there. I was like,
Right.
ugh, like my experience is ruined. Luckily, that didn't happen.
I just sucked it up. I mean, I sat next to a bunch of adults, but like, we all know that kids have like the shortest attention spans in the world. Literally. Huh?
I was so impressed because watching the film, one of my biggest issues is its pacing.
Mhm.
I think it flows very strangely. Like they're not able to pace it all that well. Especially it starts to really drag down in moments, and then there's other stuff where you're like, well, this needed more development, but we took all of our time over here. I don't know. But the kids didn't go crazy in my theater, which I was starting to get nervous as I was watching the film.
Yeah, me too.
And it started to really slow and stay at the slow pace, but they were good.
I was starting to go crazy. I was like muttering under my breath, come on, pick up.
Oh my gosh.
Give me a song. Give us a good song.
It's like something to distract the kids. Like, bring Anna and Elsa back on screen right now. So they're like, Elsa!
Sing Into the Unknown again.
It was such a good song. I loved it. I've not heard the Skrillex version yet, though, Larry. I got to check the one out.
I have
disco version.
Yeah, I haven't heard it yet.
Panic at the Disco. Sorry,
you didn't stay for the credits.
No, I didn't. I'm sorry.
That's the song that was playing during the credits.
Like blasts open at the beginning of the ending credits, but not so good. Yeah, the songs. So the thing is, we were talking about Let It Go, obviously.
Yeah.
And it just is, I think most of the music in the first one is just instantly more like catchy.
Yeah.
Because Let It Go, you can instantly like sing that hook after you've heard the song. I mean, you know.
even if you don't like know the hook, like if you instantly hear like some of the verses in Let It Go, you instantly know you're listening.
Whereas Into the Unknown and these others, Into the Unknown is the one they really promoted and have tried to push as the next big song. It's harder to grasp that melody, first of all. Second of all, I actually think it's harder to sing. So if you, like, little kids are going to be like trying to sing, I mean, it belts into some really high notes pretty fast. I don't know, the little kids. And it's much more of a story song. Like she's narrating like her thought process with this voice. Let It Go, she's obviously narrating how she's feeling, but I don't know, it's more of a declaration. Whereas this one, it gets there. And the same thing, Show Yourself gets to this big declaration moment, but that one is a really syncopated chorus. I don't know. So both of them I think are harder to really latch onto after a first listen. Whereas even in the first one, Do You Want to Build a Snowman? You were able to get on it real quick for the first time in forever.
I know every lyric to that song.
Along with it pretty quickly. So every song in that first movie was like insta-catchy. And I think that's what really propelled it. This one, I think the songs are all really good. Well, for the most part, like I said, I did not like Olaf's little song.
I didn't either.
I also did like that Never song, the opening one that they're not the opening song, All Is Found, but the one that all of them sing at the beginning of the movie. Oh, I was not really a fan of that one either.
Oh no, Larry, that's my favorite opening. It gets me so pumped during I like the rendition of the when they sing it during the first Frozen song during the very opening. I love that so much. But this one obviously was a little bit of a different rendition. I didn't care for it as much, but like the original one, it gets me so freaking pumped. I don't know why, but I love it. I love it.
I don't like for the songs in this. Like I liked a lot of them when they were playing them on screen. It's just I don't remember like a single one except for Into the Unknown.
Yeah, I definitely have to go back for a second viewing to
That's that's the problem. I don't think the songs are as memorable as the first one, which I don't think they ever were going to be, but I feel like they escape my mind quicker than I thought they were going to.
Yeah.
And even looking at something like, Moana, that one, You're Welcome, had an inst pretty quick, like, you
Yeah.
learned it, obviously, or How Far I'll Go. Kids could sing along with that quick. This one, I think because I've seen a lot of people kind of complaining because they think Show Yourself is much more in line with Let It Go. But again, I think the reason they're pushing Into the Unknown is because it is at least easier to remember than Show Yourself.
Yeah, he's right.
So
Yeah.
it's easier melodically to just catch on to, and that's what you got to push. That you can't. It doesn't matter really the quality of the song. You have to push the one that will get into people's minds and get them like back for the sing-alongs.
True. Yeah,
right,
he's
yeah.
right. Yeah, I definitely think melody wise. Sorry, go
You
ahead.
think Frozen can get 2 songs into the best original song category this year?
Oh yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Which one do you think gets in?
It would probably be Into the Unknown because, like you said, they have been pushing that a lot. But I think Show Yourself, to me, I personally like a lot more. But I mean, yeah, it's like you said, a lot of these newer songs for this, for Frozen 2, they weren't, kids can't just like sing along like Hakuna Matata or Do You Want to Build a Snowman? It's not. I mean, yeah, like they have the pitch, they haven't hit puberty yet, but
Give that 6-year-old a record deal.
But it's very hard for them to. I mean, I don't know. I think that Frozen, 2 definitely grew up with its original fan base. Like, I mean, when I went to the theater, there was literally just every single girl was dressed as Anna or Elsa, mainly Elsa, because that's the reason why. Because her story is very interesting. But yeah.
I think it's a more relatable story.
Definitely.
Anna is more naive in most of her ways. Her story has pretty much revolved around love in one way or another. Whereas Elsa has been all about finding yourself. And this one is even more so about, finding yourself and your meaning and your place and your purpose and all that. And I think that's just a more relatable message to everybody, adults, but also children. And I think that's why they really kind of grasp on to Elsa. Plus, she has the powers. So, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to be the queen with the powers?
I know.
I want the ice powers.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, let me just say, one of my favorite aspects of this film was that we explored the magic more and the lore.
Yeah.
And the
Yes.
spirits I loved. First of all, that little lizard was so cute. That was the fire spirit. I was like shocked when the fire went out and it was just this little lizard, but I loved it so much.
I was like,
It was
at
pretty
first I was
sweet.
just like- at first, I was just like, "What's this little lizard got to do with anything?" But I was like, you know what? Even if he has nothing to do with anything, he's
cute.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the horse, and then that water horse is so cool. I was like,
I know.
whoa!
I know.
And of course, they kind of showed that a little bit in the previews. I was like, this underwater battle is pretty awesome with the Elsa like throwing big old ice snowflakes to
I'm telling you, man, she went full Avatar state and just
like, dang. But I was like, this is awesome seeing Elsa, or even when she was putting out the fire by herself. And
yeah.
this is what I would like to see. Elsa just going full out, having to show her powers and do stuff.
Who's cuter, the little lizard or Baby Yoda?
I said these are tough times.
These are tough times. Someone asked me the other day, they're like, do you want Baby Groot or Baby Yoda? I was like, I need more time with Baby Yoda to decide. I've had a lot of time with Baby Groot, so I need to see how Baby Yoda, behaves.
Yeah, I'm like, I probably would say Baby Yoda if we're talking behavior, because once you get to Toddler Groot, he's a brat. So
yeah. Oh my gosh.
Toddler Groot, he's a handful. So
that is very true.
Yoda, he's very zen and chill right
very
now.
content. He's just 50 years old and still curious. He's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that little lizard was so cute.
I agree.
And then it took me a minute to realize that, like, the wind, I forgot what they named her, like Ethel or something, really old and weird.
Yeah.
her own character. The wind was, its own being in this film. I was like, oh, Pocahontas, you're here.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I thought too.
That's what I was thinking too.
Because, they blow leaves because there's no other real way to tell. Oh, the wind is present with us, so there's always leaves in the wind. But it looks very reminiscent of Pocahontas.
Oh, absolutely. It's like, you know what? Let's just throw a little bit of Pocahontas in there, and hopefully nobody will notice. But guess what, ladies and
Now
gentlemen?
we know definitively, y'all. We know definitively this has nothing to do with Tarzan.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I almost
Wait,
forgot
no.
about that.
Was that
Disney
like?
answered your theory, y'all? This has nothing.
But it was
to
such
do
a
with
good
Tarzan.
theory.
Wait! I've never heard of this theory. People thought that this was related to Tarzan.
Yeah, Tarzan was so Anna and Elsa's parents. They get shipwrecked, and the theory is that Tarzan is their brother. So it's like they had a kid, at sea
What the fuck?
when they got shipwrecked on that island. But we don't. We never really because Tarzan's parents were supposed to be British, but it's like obviously Anna and Elsa don't speak in a British accent, so it's like I thought it was a really good theory. Like I loved it. Like someone from Disney said, "Yeah, this is true," and then someone else is like, "No, that's not right." I was like, whatever. But yeah, now it's confirmed they're not related at all.
This sounds like a weird theory, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm like all things. It's like we're gonna connect Frozen to Tarzan.
Well, have you heard the Pixar theory that like it's all connected? It's like everyone tries so hard to like fit everything together, and like it's really interesting. The theories that people come up with, and it's like I don't have time to sit around and think about that. I'm glad somebody else does because like I want to hear these theories.
I'm glad that James Bond or the 007 is just a code name thing is like out the window, or the James Bond thing is out the window. That whole theory because of the different actors. I'm like, nope, out the window. Thank you.
Yeah.
But sometimes studios are just like, we're gonna squash this right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. And sometimes they're like, oh yeah, this kid thought of this and it fits. So yep. Well, let's just J.K. Rowling the entire thing and say yes.
Oh my god.
That is true. But I don't know. So I guess Larry, so were you a big fan of the theory of the whole Tarzan Frozen?
I thought it was definitely interesting. I mean, it's always those are just kind of like fun for me to delve into a little. I obviously never thought they would validate it.
That's it. I'm telling my kids Elsa was Jane.
Oh my gosh. Those memes on Twitter, they're brilliant and some have gone so far, but it's amazing.
They're getting annoying now.
Some of them it's like, okay, that's funny. Others it's like, okay, let's put the brakes on this. But, I don't know. So I guess sorry, go ahead.
Basically being like a spirit goddess.
Yeah. Well, I really like how, when
the like ancestral guardians, nature guardians.
She looked very majestic on that horse. Like, I mean, the animation in itself, like, we come from the first Frozen, she's singing Let It Go, and like, her hair is like tied up and she kind of, lets it loose a little bit. But by the end of Frozen 2, it's just, she is who she's supposed to be. She knows who she is. She's completely free. She still has worries, obviously, during the beginning of Frozen 2, where, Anna goes to Kristoff. She's like, does Elsa seem like odd to you? And he's like, she seems like Elsa. Like, she's always seemed kind of cold and distant. And, she has these powers. And it's like, what does this mean? Why was I born, with this and not my sister? For the longest time, I thought towards the end of the movie, like Anna was going to end up with powers. I'm like, oh crap, they're entering the MCU. Let's go. Anna and Elsa, let's do this thing. And I was like, oh, never mind. She's just herself. So, yeah. I don't know. So did this one fall short, meet your expectations, or exceed your expectations for Frozen 2?
Fell a little bit short, but I mean, I went in thinking it wasn't going to be as good as the first one.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't go in with any mindset at all. And I walked out. I was like, yeah, that wasn't as good as the first one. Slightly disappointed. I wanted it to be a little bit better. Maybe it's because I wanted that villain, but I mean, I didn't hate at all what I watched. Like I was like, this is still a really good like animated movie. Like
very solid.
yeah, yeah, it's very solid. I have no problem like watching this and Frozen like back to back at all. Like I still, it's a movie I would definitely rewatch. You know.
Yeah. So sorry, go ahead.
Despite like all the problems I have with it.
Okay, Larry, what about you?
I would say it's probably about on par with what I was hoping going in. I there for a minute I had really gotten excited for it. They released these songs, and like I'm biased with Panic at the Disco, so I was listening
that's
to
all
that.
good, man. Don't worry about it.
I was I thought the trailers looked great.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm pumped. This looks like it's going in a cool direction. But then I had to calm down. I was like, wait a minute, you didn't even love Frozen. Like,
He said, hold yourself there, Larry. Hold on.
Excited for a sequel to a movie that you like, So
Yeah.
I calmed down. I went in, and for me personally, I do think this is better than the first one as a film. I don't think it's going to catch cultural zeitgeist like the first one, just because I don't think it doesn't have that spark to it that the first one.
Right.
That just undeniable, unexplainable spark that first one had. But I just really liked how they took the time to develop these characters. We spent a lot of time with their relationship. I enjoyed building out this world. I do think it's inconsistent in its tone a little bit. It's definitely not paced. The pacing could be better, I guess I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it's a really good follow-up to the first one, and like a mature follow-up to the first Frozen that I enjoyed.
Yeah, I totally agree. So do you guys think there'd be like a potential for a sequel? Maybe. I know Disney normally doesn't do threes unless it's Cars 3, which should never have been.
Pixar will do.
Yeah, Pixar will do 3 or 4, and now that we know Toy Story 4. But because I know a lot of, Disney sequels normally don't do that well. I remember, Tarzan 2, Mulan 2. I actually liked Lion King 2 a little bit better. It was probably one of my favorite Disney sequels. But do you guys think that they would eventually, if the time is right, or if there's a story to tell, do you think they would make a Frozen 3?
I think if there's a story to tell, they'll make it. Also depends on how much money it's making. I mean, it's gonna break bank anyway. Yeah, I mean, it's already made $358.5 million worldwide.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I just can't see it because the way that this movie ended, it felt like the movie was complete, or like the story of like both movies was complete.
Right.
But I mean, if they decide to make a third one sometime down the road, I mean, I'll be there. Like
I'll be there day one. 6-year-olds in the theater. Let's go.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
I think there's some interesting ways they could go with the story. Like maybe a conflict, nature versus city, sisters, like at battle, not battle, but like at a battle of ideals. Anna now ruling over Arendelle, and Elsa being like out in nature, one of the guardians. Or we could just go like full on superhero-esque and get a villain that threatens Arendelle.
Let's just do it to it.
A rogue,
what was the
a rogue spirit?
What was the black guy's name again? Matthias?
I think so.
Yeah, they make a third one. Bring him back. That guy was the man.
He was pretty.
He was like the best of the new characters for sure.
Yeah.
Other than human characters, because again, I just loved the animal characters they introduced. So
absolutely. Because I mean, even with I forgot the name of the people out in the wilds already. Like they seem
Wildlings.
Cool. Wildlings. There we go. Wildlings.
Found behind the wall.
It's all connected. Oh my gosh.
This is what's behind the wall, guys.
That'd be amazing if like Kit Harington just voiced a character from out there or
I
something.
would
well,
lose my mind.
It's so weird because it's like doesn't I remember there being like an ice palace and like How to Train Your Dragon 2 or something, and then Kit Harington's like voicing the voice in that. And I'm like, this is strange.
Yeah, it's like I see
Starts
nothing
riding
but
the dragon, and then he's riding dragons in season 8 of Game of Thrones. Like,
Elsa's
it's
gonna
like,
have
oh,
like a horse Pegasus or something, I swear. And just wreck Arendelle. She's like, I'm freezing this Sub-Zero this time. None of you are getting out.
yeah.
Last time it was just a light flurry, but this time we're going Mr. Freeze.
What do you think of Kristoff's little musical moment?
I liked it. I really did. Like, it was sad. But again, like you said, like the song in the first the movie was more catchy. And I mean, I don't know. I felt bad for Kristoff the entire time because he's sitting there, he's trying to propose, and then he kind of just does it. I thought he was going to do it in like a bigger way, but he's just like, oh yeah, I have to propose. And then, yeah, Anna says yes, and that's it.
That's it. That's all she wrote.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, I think, like breaking. It's not really breaking the fourth wall. It's very self-awareness in this one compared to the other one too. That I noticed, like with Kristoff's song, they literally like stop the movie to do a '90s, '80s ballad,
Yeah.
power ballad music video for 3 minutes.
It was very well put together, though.
Yeah,
I was like, oh wow.
The reindeer start talking. I mean, the full on. It's just like a full on music video fantasy, and I mean. Yes, they perfectly replicated like power ballad music as well as video. And then Elsa, of course, they do the whole thing with Olaf doing her strut, but then she's like embarrassed over Let It Go in this movie. She's like, "Oh my god, I just want to forget
Oh
about that."
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, when she's going back to the memories and she's like, oh, I don't want to.
Be proud, dang it. But no, so I thought that was interesting too, how just kind of aware they made the characters of
Of their
everything,
of their past version themselves. Yeah, I really did. I really like the the back and forth between Anna and Kristoff is always a good time. But if they seem more settled in, I think it has been like, even though it's been 6 years within our time. I think it's also been 6 years within the film from the events of the first movie. Everyone's more settled in. You have Kristoff and Anna, their relationship is flourishing, but they have their issues. It's not just a really big fairy tale how the old like Disney Renaissance, like everyone, they live happily ever after and never have any problems, and then boom. But it touches on so many themes of puberty and growing up, even death. Even when Kristoff's like, yeah, well, we all die sometime. I'm like, yo, what did he just?
Yeah.
I was like, Kristoff, there are 5-year-olds in the theater. It's like, shut up. We haven't talked about that yet. Disney trying to teach my kids. Oh man. So I guess another question I have for you guys. I just wrote out a few of them if you guys haven't been able to tell already. Where does this fall amongst like your Disney ranking of like that new animation revival?
Ooh. That's hard. That's hard because like this animation revival, I call it like the big 6 because it all started with like which I haven't seen Tangled.
I actually watched it the other day for the first time on Disney Plus. It's very good.
Is it?
That was before Frozen, so you weren't into animation yet.
Yeah,
right, exactly. Yeah. I've seen
Larry over here dropping mics.
Yeah. I've seen all their animation except Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Okay.
So yeah, and Tangled.
Too.
And yeah, I haven't seen that. I gotta get on that. And Tangled I haven't watched. I'd probably say I think Moana's my favorite. Moana or Big Hero 6 is my favorite.
Ooh, okay.
Those are definitely my 1, 2. Then probably Zootopia. Then Frozen.
Then
Then Wreck-It Ralph, and then Fro 2.
Fro 2. He said Fro Zootopia. I'm like, I've never heard of that one before. Is that a new one?
Yeah. It's a
Oh
crossover.
man. Like I saw Larry, what about you? I know this is a very big thing. I saw your video the other day about, you're ranking your animation revival site.
I did a revival era ranking. So technically, it goes back to Princess and the Frog is what is considered like the start of
Oh, okay.
Oh, that
era.
is true.
Gotcha.
But, I think it's, I don't know, some part of me is like, I feel like the CGI ones are better compared to each other. Because Winnie the Pooh is also included, that 2011 Winnie the Pooh that was released.
Oh, I forgot about that.
But out of these like CGI ones, Moana is definitely my favorite. So woo, Moana
Yeah.
here. And then Zootopia is number 2 for me. Wreck-It Ralph would be 3. Ralph Breaks the Internet is 4. And then I have, what do I have as number 5? Look, now I'm like blanking. Big Hero 6 is 5.
He's like,
Then Frozen 2. Then
Okay.
Frozen. And
Okay.
then Tangled is last. I know a lot of people love Tangled, and I think it's cute, it's fun, but it just doesn't resonate with me as much.
Isn't it just Rapunzel?
yeah.
I mean, it's like a rom-com. I think that's why. It's kind of like this little rom-com.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Flynn Rider and Rapunzel bopping around. The
Gotcha.
animals still show for me, and that one too, like the little chameleon and the horse.
The horse is definitely my favorite. He was amazing in that movie. Yeah, I liked it. So I'm
It's the middle.
Yeah. Right. So I'm trying to figure out. So because I've been thinking about mine for a while. So it's Brave Disney or is it Pixar?
Pixar.
Okay.
Have you seen Wreck-It Ralph too?
Well,
I
they
haven't
make
seen
fun
it.
of her. They have like a little meta joke in there. 'cause all
No,
the other-
okay, I've never seen Wreck-It Ralph 1 or 2 yet, so I need to watch both.
Oh,
I know. But it's like, I love Brave so much.
That's Pixar.
Oh, man. Because I was like, okay, I knew Pixar had, like, those. I was so confused. I'm like, wait, I know they're practically the same. Like, it's the same company, but.
And they made it way more confusing because they put Merida in like the princess line. So they put her in the Disney princess line. That's why they made that joke in Ralph Breaks the Internet. They're like, oh, nobody can understand her. She's from that other studio.
No.
So-
No.
So, I mean, they get real referential in Ralph Breaks the Internet to Merida being the oddball out princess.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, my Monday is now ruined, but no. But oh my gosh. Like, I mean, I've thought about mine for a while, and I would probably have to put, from the ones that I've seen, I would put Frozen 1 above Tangled. I don't know. I really have to think about my list because I thought about it all day, and I was like, well, there's a lot that I've seen, and there's a lot that I haven't seen. Zootopia would definitely be up there. Yeah.
Moana?
Yes, Moana I've seen. I love Moana.
Big Hero?
I love.
seen,
Yeah.
I've seen. Sorry, go ahead.
I love how Moana is basically Frozen but on the sea.
It's
And no love story.
Yeah, and that's another thing I wanted to touch on. I really like how in Frozen 2, they didn't give Elsa a love counterpart. She's still,
Yeah. I definitely would like to talk about it because, of course, with the song "Let It Go," particularly, the LGBTQ community and a lot of others have really kind of wanted Elsa to get a girlfriend, which obviously I'm cool if Elsa gets a girlfriend. But being a member of that community, I like Elsa doing her thing. I don't know.
She doesn't need a man or a woman.
Just let her be asexual. She doesn't need any sort of romantic relationship, especially now with where they took her character. I'm like, especially we don't need any of that. And then, let Anna be the one, or Anna be the one who has that. I don't know. I mean, again, I guess if you're gonna give her a love interest, make it a woman. But But I just she's one of those characters where I really feel like she doesn't need it. I think her character is better served without any love interest at all.
I agree.
She's better self-partnered. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely thought they would give like either Sven or Olaf a love counterpart in this one, but that didn't happen either.
All those reindeer right there, ready for.
That is true. That is
be
true.
like,
Yeah, that is true.
Sven's got his posse now, so he's good. He's good.
Man, he's got his group of folk now.
Oh my gosh, that is.
Reminded me of little baby Sven from the first movie.
I love baby Sven.
I know he was great.
The songs in the first one, and I hate saying that, like, you know, new isn't always necessarily better, but I definitely think the songs in the first Frozen are better than in Frozen 2. Obviously for an older audience, you know, for us, it's kind of a mixed bag, but I definitely think the story was like just fantastic. And the animation department just outdid it again. Because the only thing I always get very wary about is, you know, with the new Disney revival is that you know, these animation, these, you know, Big Hero 6, like they start to show their age after a while, because that definitely happens with How to Train Your Dragon and obviously like Shrek and stuff, and it's like woo!
Yeah,
but it's like
it definitely Shrek,
you're used to it because you've seen it 1,000 times, but it's like, wow. Like, I think I actually started seeing it a little bit entangled already, but I can't remember what year that came out, so it's been a while for me. And what? How long?
2011.
Oh, 20. Okay, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
It might have been 2010. I might be wrong on that. 2010 or 2011.
Okay, yeah, because there was definitely some parts from, like, it seems a little bit outdated, but other, you know, scenes in the movie, it just looked gorgeous and beautiful, breathtaking, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, I don't know, but was there anything else you guys wanted to touch on before we wrap up here?
So I say Fixer Upper is the worst song from both movies, though, to me.
It
so,
really is.
Which one did you say?
Fixer Upper.
Oh yeah.
Not the Chip and Joanna Gaines. No.
Rock people and that first Tangle or that first Frozen, and that still nothing in Frozen 2 is near as bad as that to me. So
I agree 100%. That it just felt so odd. I was like, did they just like throw this in there because they didn't really have anything to do with the characters and they kind of needed to, like, you know, extend the movie out a little bit longer just to hit that runtime, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But any last thoughts from you, Alex?
No, I think I pretty much summed up what I wanted to say in this review. I still had a really fun time with this movie, despite it might have sounded like I bitched about this movie a lot, but I did enjoy myself. And I thought it was even though it was an inferior sequel, I did think it was still a fun sequel.
Okay, yeah, no, I did.
How to watch it so that it beats the Lion King at the box office.
Yeah, seriously though, because I don't understand.
I want an actually animated, like a legit animated film to hold that record. Since Disney likes to flip flop on whether they consider Lion King to be animated or live action or whatever they say. So screw it. We need a real animated film to be the #1 animated film of all time, and right now it's Lion King.
Yeah, I agree, because it's I don't know. It's it's crazy because it's like it looks like the new Lion King. It looks like a National Geographic, like, but just with talking animals. And then it's like, okay, no, it's not technically live action, but I can see why they called it live action, even though it's not. And it's like,
and then they're like, oh, yeah, it's #1 animated film of all time. Then suddenly they're accepting it as animated. That's what I don't like. I'm like, okay, Disney.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I didn't really. I didn't really like it that much either, because it's like the two really quick the two main scenes. Like, okay, when Simba's talking to Mufasa in the clouds, I saw new Mufasa on those clouds. I just saw clouds. I did not see a lion's head in the clouds. I just saw talking clouds, and that was it. I was like, okay, that's weird. And #2, when Simba first meets Rafiki, and Rafiki hits him over the head with a stick, And he's like, "Oh, that hurts." And Rafiki's like, "Oh yeah, the past can hurt, but there's two things you can do." He's like, "You can learn from it or you can run from it." Literally the entire point of the movie, just take that scene out and we'll just go with it. And I was like, yeah, he meets Rafiki, but they don't like, it's like the entire lesson of the freaking movie. And I'm like, it's just not there. It's like, oh my God, like whatever. But all right, I'm done with that. I guess that wraps it up here for our Frozen 2 review. Thank you to Larry and Alex for coming on from Cinemania World podcast. Let everyone know where they can find you on the internet. Alex?
All right. You can find me at alexmaddenmovies.strikingly.com, and you can find all my social media links there: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Stardust.
Oh, so. Stardust. No.
Yeah.
And Larry, where can they find you?
You can find me at LC Screen Talk on YouTube as well as Instagram and Twitter.
All right. And you can find Film Optix over at Film Optix. Optix is spelled OPTIX. And you can also follow me on my personal Twitter, which is Eulenberger7. That's EULINBERGER 7. I don't really use like our Film Optix Twitter as much as I should, because I'm so like sucked into my personal one already, because like especially after joining the Cinemania World crew and everything, it's like I feel like it's just easier to like use my, and it's like crap, it's really hard to like run two Twitters at once, so I need to find someone to like run the Film Optix one or whatever. I'll figure it out. But also before we go, everyone who's listening, don't forget you can listen to this review here on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Anchor, and Spotify. Wow, I almost forgot one there. And don't forget to leave a 5-star review and leave us a review or comment. Either this is also going to go up on YouTube as well. Either the comment section down below on YouTube, or leave a review on Apple Podcasts. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Yeah.